What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Merricks Garage. I started this truck build, 6 years ago. My kids were little, and my initial objective was to build a truck that we could take anywhere in safety, with comfort, with reliability. Well, as you can see, if you followed my series, you know that has changed slightly. It's no longer going to be the most comfortable ride. It's no longer going to be the most air-conditioned ride. But it still guarantees a ton of adventure and a ton of fun. And I am going to put that all to the test next week. I'm heading out to Moab for the Easter Jeep Safari / full-size invasion. I'm going to be out there for a week. And I'm taking my oldest son. This is why I built this truck. I'm getting really excited. I'm super looking forward to it. Regardless of what happens, we're going to have a good time. It's just him and I for a week. Camping, road tripping, sleeping under the stars, and four-wheeling with a bunch of cool people in an amazing place. So, before I get all emotional, I'm going to catch you guys up on where I've been, what I've been doing. The steering is dialed, the sway bar's in, I skinned one of the doors. I just have a couple more things to do before next week when we head out. So let's go catch you guys up. Merricks Garage. I have been a huge fan of these DIY 4x tube doors for a long time. They look good, they close well, they flow with the lines of the truck, they provide great visibility, and they're really well made. They do have a few drawbacks though. I can't tell you how many times stuff has fallen out of my truck because, like a bonehead, I didn't secure it and I go around a corner and it flies out of the truck. It's not that big of a deal, just a little bit of planning and preparation and making sure that stuff doesn't fly around your truck and you got no problems. But for this road trip, we're gonna be doing a couple thousand miles on the streets, and I thought, why not skin these things? Throw some sheet metal on them so we get a little bit more of an enclosed feeling, a little bit more protection. It's not gonna cut down on any of the visibility. It's not gonna cut down on any of the functionality of the doors. They're still gonna look as good and work as good, but they'll give us a little bit more security. So basically we can put stuff down at the wheel wells down. You can put things down here without worrying about them just flying out. So I spent some time getting the tube door on my side skinned. Let me show you that. And then we'll take a gander at how I did it. I also got the sway bar done. The sway bar has been linked into the truck. It's moving well. Everything's looking good. So I picked up some real thin sheet. I'm just gonna cut it with the bandsaw and get it to cover up like this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave the patina or not, but I kind of dig it, but probably not. But let's go get these measured and cut. It's starting to line up, and I'm gonna start throwing some rivets in, and I am stoked because I get to use this guy. This is the Milwaukee M12 rivet gun, and this thing is sweet. So let's find these rivets and then corresponding drill bit, and let's go drill some holes. So the door skin is starting to line up here. I haven't decided how permanent I want to make it, but I'm digging how it's starting to come together. Okay, that came out really kind of cool. The only challenge I have is this part right here. And that is because I do not have, the door sill does not run along there, so it was difficult to hammer it and form it. So yeah, patina it out. I think I'm gonna blast it with some sandpaper and spray it real quick. Okay, so I have the driver's side door skinned and riveted, and it really came out pretty good. I'm gonna show you guys the patina that I got on it right here. Okay, dang it, this is hard because this looks awesome. That looks really cool. But it's not the look that I'm going for with this truck. strategically placed through the truck in different panels like it was part of the objective when the build began. Would be cool, but just unless I started doing that with the hood and everything else. So I'm gonna paint over it, I think. Yeah, they definitely look homemade. There's no doubt about that. This is some remnant sheet metal riveted to some tubes and spray painted. But hey, you know, I think when that gloss dries down a little bit, this thing will pass the 10-foot test. Just to give you guys an idea, the reason I like this Digicam is, check this out. This is the side of my truck that was rolled. So this is the extent of the body damage that I'm dealing with. Mostly stuff that I think can just be popped out. I'm gonna learn how to do body work here. But this is all this kind of stuff that I can just hide with this Digicam. Now, the wrap is old and needs to be replaced, but it's only when you come down the side that you really start to see, you know, any real problems. And then moving over to the passenger side, I mean, this guy's still straight as an arrow. This side too. Though it might not look like much, this is exactly what I have needed. These bungs are gonna get welded in here, and then these guys, this DOM tube will be cut correspondingly for the link down to the axle. These are the brackets that are gonna mount on the front. So now I just need to pull the springs and wheels off this guy and get it up in the air. So what I'm trying to avoid is, I do not want, under any circumstance, this sway bar to invert. Meaning that if I go to full extension and it happens to reach its limit, there is a chance during compression or up travel that it will invert and bad things happen. So basically, I just want to make sure that I've got enough upward travel available right here for it to swing, but I do not have too much that it will invert. So let's take a couple of measurements. We'll have a rough idea of where we're sitting. So here is one rod end or connection that's been welded and is cut to length. Here's the other. It's just a matter of welding the bungs in on both these guys. So let's get these guys all burned in. Okay, here they are, both of them. I gotta strip them down a little bit more to prep for the steelet, but those came out good. I'll throw one on, let's articulate it a little bit, and we'll see how this is lining up, but I'm optimistic. So with one right hand and one left hand, this is what you're gonna be able to do. As I tighten this, it's pulling them both together. I'm gonna get this to about right there. We're looking good. Let's just bolt this top one together. We'll give it a trial run. Okay, I got both sides burned, well, tacked. See, this side's tacked in place. The other side's tacked in place. This is roughly ride height. So that is about where this is gonna ride, because right now, it's not on these jack stands at all, I don't believe. Yeah, this is purely on the weight of the axle. I mean, the weight of the truck. And yeah, that looks pretty tasty. So I think this is gonna work right here. let's just measure how much travel I have from here to here. This needs to be, from here to here, needs to be about 10 inches, which it's looking like I got plenty of room. Basically, this shaft stroke cannot be greater than this distance, otherwise I will have some problems during full compression. But there we are. Sway bar is in, first test drive down, and what a huge difference. It kind of makes me realize just how sketchy it was beforehand, because now it feels just planted. So I didn't really rally it because it's still just tacked in place, and I didn't want to break any of those heavy tacks. But great improvement. Okay, so I have the sway bar in. It's working. It's huge improvement. So I'm gonna put this camera underneath right now so you can maybe see it working. I'm not sure how this is gonna come out, but we might as well just check and see. Just a couple of road trips so far to just make sure that there's no interference between the link arms and the frame. That's my biggest issue. Is I'm tight. It's close, but it's not interfering. And the change in ride, I can't explain this enough. I mean, it's gone from being rather unwieldy to feeling extremely planted. So I hit a couple of whoops and check it out. If you look closely at the sway bar link, you can see as it goes up, it clears the frame, no interference, right back down. That's what I was going for. I'm pretty happy right now. Man, technology has made it really easy to tune your stuff now. Put a camera underneath, put it in slow-mo, and analyze what your truck is doing. So you can see here, I still have a ton of travel left. Obviously, I'm not pushing the truck much here, but really cool to see. I have been busy taking care of things on the truck that have bothered me for a while. Various rattles, alignment issues, body roll stuff that's had to do with the sway bar, and my steering. The steering is so much better since I did that refresh and moved the ram and fixed the U-joints in the Borgeson shaft and did all that. It steers fantastic. There is no hesitation, no resistance, no indexing with it. It is just pure lock-to-lock hydraulic fluidity. And I'm really fired up. The rest of the truck is running really well too. It's braking well, it's steering straight, it's rolling straight, it's got good power, the ride is comfortable. Couldn't come at a better time. With all that work behind me, what does that still leave to get done before we head out to Moab? Well, I would love to get some underside protection. I don't have a skid plate under the transfer case as of yet. I don't have a skid plate under the gas tank, and those are two critical areas that I would like to address. The skid plate under the transfer case is probably the most critical, as if I high center, I do not want to be carrying a 3-ton truck on my aluminum transfer case. I think it's going to be fairly easy to fix that, to put a plate underneath. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I'd also like to get a skid plate under the gas tank. I just don't know if I've got enough time. As I come down, you can see the skid plate would need to come about 3 inches down to provide protection to the transfer case here. I have these two cross linkage bars. These guys right here are going to be super easy for me to just put some plate under. So that's probably what I'm going to do for this. For the skid plate that I'm going to put under the tank, I'm most likely, in fact, I'm almost positive I'm going to use the factory, cut it up, make it work, reinforce it a little bit. I just don't know exactly how or where, and time is of the essence at this point. So this is what I've got right now. Yeah, I know. Not ideal, but we'll make it work. Oh, and one last thing. I need some bump stop strike pads. I have them. I've just got to finish fabbing them up and get them burned in and installed. The bump stops right now they're going to engage. They're just not going to engage all the way before the shock bottoms out. Fortunately, I don't think my shock springs in the back are the right rate. They seem rather stiff. So I don't think bottoming out is going to be an issue, but it's still one thing I'd like to get done. So a lot of work to do still, but we're heading out. It's going to be good. I can't wait to get on the road with my son. And for those of you who are going to be out in Moab, look me up, flag me down, say hi. I'd like to meet you guys. Stay tuned for another episode of Merricks Garage next week. We'll see you soon. Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of Merricks Garage. If you made it this far, chances are I entertained you. If that's the case, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I've also got the Amazon.com store where I post all the parts and tools and various paraphernalia I use in the build. That's going to be linked down below in the show notes, along with my personal website, merricksgarage.com, where you'll get more detailed color commentary and awesome swag like this hat and stickers and all that kind of good stuff. There'll also be more videos that should be popping up on the screen somewhere around here if I did the YouTube thing right. And we'll be back next week.